What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. We are here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Friday, November 8th, 2024. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of Minnesota here. I'm also in sales and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why into their profession and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a special guest today. She was on here before talking to me about her why, and she is my first repeat comeback interviewee. Her name is Emma Underwood. She is a senior at WSU. WSU stands for Washington State University. She is in the field of sports communications, journalism. She is also a brand ambassador now of Prime, which is something that the Pauls, Logan and Jake, both endorse. And she's going to talk more about that. And we're going to talk more and just catch up. It's been a while since we talked to her. So without any further ado, I introduce to you the talented and the beautiful Emma Underwood. Hello there. How we doing?
Chris, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's a pleasure to see your face again. You look absolutely lovely as
Oh,
usual.
thank you.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. Welcome back, I should say, my first returnee of my Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. So you're the first one.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I know I've done so many different episodes and stuff like that, but you are actually the first one to return to come back.
Oh,
Hopefully, the last one, but you're
yeah.
definitely going to come back. That's for sure. So I appreciate that. How's your week been going?
It's been very busy. There's been a lot going on campus that I've been working on, but that's just the life of being a journalist, I guess.
It is, right? It is. And listen,
Never ends.
the last time we spoke, you was a junior.
I was,
Uh,
yeah.
Now you're entering your final semester of fall, and now you're gonna be graduating next semester.
I'm very
I mean,
excited. Wait.
I was just about to ask you, like, how excited are you? Or have you petitioned to graduate yet?
Yes, I have. I'm already signed up to graduate, all that already enrolled, and I'm very ready just to get my life started outside of college, that's for sure.
That's right. I know that's right. Congratulations once again. Uh, can we dive into some of the stories that you've been getting into this past week because it
Absolutely.
has been a busy week for you and it's been crazy. I mean, if anybody pays attention to your timeline and what's going on with your Instagram, there's been a lot of like crazy, creepy stuff that's been going on there with WSU. What have you been discovering that's been happening over there in Poland?
Yeah, so at the beginning of the year, my first like hard news story I think I did was when WSU enrolled a level 3 sex offender onto campus,
Yeah.
which caused a lot of chaos around campus. So I found the girl that created a petition to get him kicked off of campus. And so I did my first story kind of around her and the petition, spreading the word about everything because I think it's so important to tell those type of stories when you're on a college campus because if we're being honest, a lot of college kids don't watch the news. So
Right.
I'm lucky enough to have a platform where people watch my business account and they are interested in what's going on campus. So I kind of took that and after my that story did really, really well. There was a reported assault on campus that happened on the 21st of October where a girl was allegedly choked out in the parking lot outside of our Coliseum and was knocked unconscious. And when she woke up, she thought she might have been sexually assaulted. Um,
Sure.
and then new information came out that the assault didn't happen. So I went and talked to the police chief, got all that information about it. The assault did not happen as it was reported. So the campus is safe as of right now, from what we know, but they're still working with her to figure out what
Mhm.
exactly happened because they looked at security camera footage from that night where she said she was assaulted. They followed her from the building to her car. No assault happened. So it's a great thing that it didn't actually happen from what we know, but I'm
Sure.
lucky that I got to cover this story because and just spread the word about it because I've gotten so many texts already from students being like, I didn't even know this happened. Like, this is great. Thank you for spreading information. And that's what like makes it all worth it at the end of the day is like helping the community and like spreading the word because kids don't watch the news a lot.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
commend you on that. I mean, there's so many stories that people don't know that happen around campuses all the time in college life. It really don't. And it's great to have a person like yourself. It's great to have a team, a communicative team there to be able to, break news, but also get the word out to other people that what's going on around campus because
Yeah.
that's serious. Anytime you're talking about a sex offender on a college campus, it's pretty serious stuff that we're
Very.
talking. You're in a but I segue because this is the great question I wanted to ask you to start off with that. I believe you're in a sorority, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
I am. Yeah.
And now being an upperclassman, I know they do the big sister things in
Mhm.
sororities like that. What kind of messages do you relay to some of the underclassmen as far as, girls there? Because we know how colleges is, then parties, sometimes things get a little crazy, out of control. We've all been to those kind of parties, whoever been in college before, although I've been a few years out of college, but still in all, I know what those parties are like. What kind of messages are you like relaying to those when you do stories like that, to be able to try to avoid situations like that?
Yeah, well, as an upperclassman, I mean, obviously, I don't go out as much as the underclassmen do, so they know that the upperclassmen like me are here to help them if they ever need anything. WSU is a huge party school. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing to do here besides really
Right.
go out. So people tend to go out a lot when they're underclassmen. And I think just for me, being the only person in my sorority who is doing news stuff, I'm the only one in
Okay.
there. They all follow my platform. They're all aware of what kind of stories I'm posting. And so they get like everyone gets alerted when there's like an assault on campus or the sex offender was on campus. But for me, just being able to provide the full story to everybody that isn't initially sent out in those alerts, it really helps them and it helps kind of the community of Greek life be safe and kind of get an update on what's going on because the alerts that we get from WSU police or from the president, they're very brief and they don't leave us with enough information, which is where myself and other journalists step in to tell the full story, to keep the community safe, and just to kind of spread the word about this when it's not really being elaborated on correctly.
Sure, absolutely, and
Yeah.
very thankful of that once again, Emma. Because listen, we need more journalists, especially on campus, people like yourself, to be able to be advocates like that. 'Cause like you said, the president goes to sleep, wake up the next morning, maybe writes a brief statement of what he's been told, but these things happen particularly late at night, wee hours in the morning of these incidents that happen. And when you're talking about a party school that really there's nothing else in the city outside of that college school in these college towns, yeah, shit is gonna happen. Let's just put it what it is. It's gonna happen, right? So no doubt about that. You did an internship this past summer. I mean, the
I
last time I
did.
talked to you, you got it, but I didn't talk to you after that. Tell me how the internship was and
Yeah.
how much did you learn, and what did you bring in with you to this fall semester?
Yeah, so I interned at ABC 13 in Lynchburg, Virginia. So I
Hmm.
went from one part of the country all the way to the other
You sure
because
did.
part of me wanted to just be in a new environment and make new connections in the part of the country that I've never been to before. I've never set foot on the East Coast until I drove my car all the way over there this summer to work
Wow.
for them. That was my first time ever stepping foot on the East Coast. And so I was really fortunate enough to have parents who also support me financially for the most part to get
Hmm.
me to do these opportunities that a lot of kids aren't fortunate enough to do. So I'm very grateful for
Sure.
that. And so
Hmm.
I was a full-time news intern. So I was there beginning of June till the end of July. So I was there for about a month and a half. And I was working the day shifts, the night shifts, the morning shifts at 3 a.m. I worked every single shift possible. And the experience that I got just from being in a newsroom full time all summer is the most valuable experience I could have ever gotten because
Absolutely.
I cannot stress enough doing an internship if you're able to is so important and it teaches you so much, especially in this industry, because I didn't know what to expect when I was first walking into the newsroom. I've never worked in a newsroom before. I've never done any of that. So getting to actually be there full time and getting a glimpse of what my life is going to be like post grad, it really helped me mentally and physically prepare better for graduation and when I'm out of school because graduating's scary. It's a hard time for a lot of people.
Sure.
So being able to work full time was just, I'm so grateful for that and so grateful for ABC 13 that they took me in and gave me a chance. And I got to go out with reporters every single day working on stories. And it was just amazing to build all those connections and meet people of the Lynchburg community because I never would have been able to do that if I didn't do an internship over there.
I love the fact that not only that you did an internship, but that you did an internship far away from what your home was.
Mhm.
Because that's pretty much the reality of what it's going to be, right? It's going to be that when you do graduate, 9 times out of 10, you're going to move to a spot that's probably a small city and it's probably away from where your surroundings is. And I
Mhm.
always say the terms be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Um, and that's something that you just have to be as just in life in general, but definitely in this business as a
Yeah.
journalist. I love the fact that you did that because
Yeah.
now you probably came back even stronger starting this fall semester and more confident because you got to have a little bit of arrogance to yourself as a journalist as well. Not overconfidence, but just the confident enough to like,
Yeah.
okay, I can do this, do that, do this, and I can handle anything that's thrown my way. And it's a great segue because I spoke to one of your colleagues on my podcast, Cassidy Collins,
Mhm.
who is somebody who is definitely extremely hard worker as well, very positive, very upbeat. And she mentioned that you took on a new role this semester. Normally, you're a person that's sorry, not guy, but normally you're a girl that is in front of the camera. And trust me, the
Yes.
camera loves you. There's no question about it. But you took on a producer role
I did.
this semester, and I heard about that. Tell me about taking on that new role and having underclassmen being able to, not be in front of the camera and do something a little different at WSU.
Yeah, so I had never worked production. I have never been behind the scenes of anything
Right.
in my life. I've always been in front of the camera.
Mhm.
But Cassidy and I and a few other people, a part of Cable 8, were talking, and there's no news show part of Cable 8 because Cable 8, it's in everything in Washington State. It's mostly sports because we're a huge sports school.
Oh
So like
yeah.
I used to anchor sports, report for sports, but I kind of realized I wanted to go more into news. Cassidy wanted to go into news. And it's also kind of hard for girls to get on camera experience, especially if they're not wanting to go into sports. Cable 8 is amazing and they've given me so much valuable on camera time and lessons through all of that. But we were like, we just need a news show and we want to help kind of teach these girls what we know because we both learned so much with our internships, and we were so lucky enough to both be able to work in a newsroom, and a lot of girls don't really get that on-camera experience at school until they're upperclassmen. And so we're like, let's create a news show that is female focused, that we
Mm,
can teach these girls. We're more of mentors to them. We're kind of like their teachers in a way, teaching them what we know so that they're way more prepared than we were going into junior and senior year. Because
sure.
we learned a lot ourselves because at WSU you don't get to be on camera in any class until your senior year. That's when
Right.
the news thing goes. So we're like, we need to get them on camera starting when they're younger because they can easily, but by the time they're upperclassmen, they're going to be so good with the experience that they're able to have through Cougar News.
Mhm.
So we hold our weekly meetings. We teach them everything they need to know about working a camera, how to do a stand up, how to write a
Mhm.
package, how to put a package together, because we had to learn that all this summer or in our classes as upperclassmen. So
Mhm.
starting young, they're going to look back at their footage when they're younger and be like, wow, I've come such a long way because I got the privilege of starting so young. So that was our biggest goal with Cougar News, and the girls are doing amazing. We put out our first episode a few weeks ago, and we got such positive feedback from everyone. Like the packages that the freshmen are turning in are incredible. Like they are so good for being entry level and never doing it before, and it makes Cassidy and I be able to take a breath at night and be like, okay, we're doing something that is really beneficial to other people.
I love that. I
Yeah.
really do, Emma. I love the fact that's another way of paying it forward. You don't have a lot of universities that do that because, like you said, there's most universities, I should say, have a standard to where you do have to be at a certain age in order to get on camera. To
Yeah.
get underclassmen the reps that they need, and then just to build the confidence to be able to do it on campus, to be able to go out and get that internship. Because if you can get an internship in your freshman and sophomore year, you're golden. I mean, you're ahead of the game for real. And I know, I don't, I know I didn't do that my freshman and sophomore year.
I didn't
Of right, so it's just one of those things of just paying it forward, and I love the fact that you're doing that for sure. Talk
Yeah.
to me about this particular semester. I know we talked about a different role for you, but what sports have you been covering? Maybe news stories that you've covered that's maybe been some of your favorites. Because again, you're coming off that internship in Virginia. You're coming back to WSU, even a more confident person than what you already were in your junior year when we first met. So talk to me about what kind of stories you've done, what kind of sports you may have done, anything new and exciting that you may have done at WSU that you was just trying to do outside the producing.
Yeah, so I have been very, very busy this semester. My roommates are always like, I never see you because I'm always running around or I'm upstairs on my computer
Mm.
editing. I have a very heavy course load this year. I'm taking a documentary class, a reporting class, and this really hard media law class all in one semester. So
Well,
it's
yeah.
a lot for me, but the reporting has kept me super busy. I have covered many different types of stories from a frat getting a new house to a fire department fundraiser. And recently I just did a story about a disability center on WSU campus that is very undiscovered. Not a lot of people know about it. And so when I
Wow.
discovered it, those are the type of stories I love to cover. Is kind of like the lifestyle and like personal stories, is just like spreading awareness to things like the disability center. Not a lot of people know that's a thing. So being able to cover a story, talk to the people who are in that center has been amazing, and they were so grateful for it, and just making an impact on people too. Every time I do a story, I get the sweetest messages like, thank you for caring about this, thank you for covering this, thank you for shining a light into this, like we really needed that. So it's just like those messages that really keep me going and keep me loving what I'm doing. But recently, as you know, the assault story, and I'm currently working on, there has, with that assault, there was an error on the police sides with properly logging the assault online,
Oh
which,
boy,
and as a journalist, we hold people accountable.
you
So
have to.
I am working on another part of that package
Mhm.
to put out separately, just about the police error that happened. I mean, everyone's human, it happens, but when it's such a big situation like this,
Yeah,
people are talking, why wasn't this documented online properly, and all that. So I'm currently working on that, and just little stories like that. Like, it keeps me busy, and I love telling people's stories as well. I love meeting new people. I love just getting to interact with so many different types of people, which I think is the coolest part of this job, is you get to meet so many people and get to hear their stories, and you get the privilege of telling them, which is amazing and can really make a difference in someone's life, their career, their business, and all of that. But it's
absolutely.
super busy. Cable 8 also keeps me very busy with meetings and all that. And we're actually filming our next episode next week on Tuesday for Cougar News. So just getting all of the logistics ready for that is keeps
Hmm.
my hands full. But I love it because I never really have a chance to just kind of like sit down and be bored.
And see, and that's what I loved. I loved the fact when I was in entering that final fall semester and that spring semester that I was just on the go. I love doing sports. I really covered a lot of sports stories, but I also covered some events around campus because I was writing for my school magazine at the time. So I loved being on the go, and I also worked as well. So I was like, yeah, this is amazing. But the beautiful thing about it is when you graduate and then you realize you don't have to write no more papers, you don't have to do no more tests. All you doing is just your job, and you go home, and then it just frees up more time for you to be able to, log on some more stuff to be able to get busy again. Which I want to know what your spring semester is going to look like. Your fall semester looks like you're busy as hell, but is the spring going to slow down a little bit because you're coming to the very end?
I don't think it's going to slow down. If anything, I think it might pick up a little bit. I am in
Ooh.
the broadcast, the newscast, which is the official, like, you're anchoring, you're doing the full newscast Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. So It's a huge class. And so I'm lucky that that's the only class that I have in person. I am taking two more classes online, which I'm so
Okay.
thankful that I have that option to do here because if I had to do that huge class, that huge news class, and then do a bunch of other classes, I think I would be very overwhelmed. But I do have that newscast that I'll be doing, and then I still am doing Cable 8 next semester. We're continuing Cougar News next semester.
Okay.
So I'll still be reporting also. I'll still be returning packages and all that. So just very news heavy next semester.
No, that's awesome. Now,
Yeah,
would you rather, for me, Emma, I like online classes. I love it. Some people hate it, but I love online classes
I do
because
too. I love them.
okay. Okay,
I
got
love
you. I was
them.
gonna ask that. I was gonna ask that for
Yeah.
sure.
And plus
Okay.
next semester I'm gonna have to start applying for jobs. Figuring
That
out
was my next
where-
question.
yes.
Absolutely. No, that was my next question. Awesome. Like, have you, because I would say, look, maybe you might even want to start doing it now, to be honest with you. If you haven't. If you haven't, I'm not assuming that you haven't already, because you probably have, but um how many jobs, like well, not how many jobs, what area were you specific, because everybody starts out normally, at least for me. I started out applying to certain areas. Like I knew I wanted to be in the Northeast, the Midwest, and the Southeast. And the reason why the Northeast, because my dad lives in the Northeast, lives in New York. The Southeast is where I went to school at. So I know about the Southeast well, and my mother's down there. The Midwest, I have family in Chicago, have family in the other spaces as well, but I know about the Midwest area. Is there a particular type of area that you're trying to go for, or you are just open to move pretty much anywhere and everywhere?
Honestly, I'm open to pretty much anything. As a journalist, especially in news, you really have to be, what's the word? You really have to be prepared to kind of move around a lot.
Absolutely.
So I probably want to go into a smaller market when I first graduate, just so that I can make the mistakes I'm going to make
Sure.
and learn in a less intense environment, I want to say, just so I can get the experience and really get really, really good at what I do before I want to go into a higher market. You know, of course, my plan is I really want to move up. I want to be an anchor at a really large station eventually.
Okay.
But starting out, I'm kind of prepared to go anywhere. I mean, I'm down for anything and just gonna
Love
shoot
it.
out a bunch of applications, see what happens, and go from there. But I'm probably gonna start applying within the next month. I just have to get my reel all situated and finished, and then I can start shooting out job applications.
And it's gonna your reel is definitely gonna be amazing. I know that you're gonna have a lot of suitors. I know this is something that we kind of talked about a little bit last time. It's been a minute since we talked because you've been doing your thing, I've been doing mine. But uh, just to reiterate, for me, when I tell my young kids out here, I'm now freelance. So I was back then. I was at a publication, but now I went to freelance as well. So I'm kind of independent. I still cover sports, but I cover high school, college, and professional now. I didn't used to cover professional when I was working when we talked last. So I just wanted to throw that out there as well. That's a
Awesome.
little different.
Congrats.
You are very welcome. That's a little different in my life right now. But I tell my young boys, especially in college, and my young guys that take a visit to wherever you want to go. You have been to the East Coast. You know that Virginia gets a little hot in the summertime,
Oh my
as you.
God, the humidity was so bad. My hair always looked crazy on camera. I was like, why did I even do my hair today? I look nuts. Like it,
I feel you. I feel you. Listen, the Virginia can get hot. I know it can. But listen, hey, the one thing that you ain't got to worry about with Virginia is that it does get hot, but they have some nice things in Virginia though. They do. Lynchburg, I thought, is a perfect place to go because it's not Virginia Beach. It's not like the big cities in Virginia. I thought Lynchburg would be a perfect place to go to kind of season your skills a little bit even more. And I know you're a very bubbly personality, and I don't think anybody would mind ever being around you at all. So I know you made a lot of connections and friends out there too, for sure. So, but just to reiterate, yeah, I think you should take a visit. I think you should also be able to try to see about the living market because like we know some of these places are going to pay low. And you know they're gonna pay low coming out, but you definitely don't want them to be paying top ramen low, if you feel what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's the thing about journalism too. It's like the money isn't always there, but you gotta love what you do. And that's
Right. You gotta
you
absolutely
gotta
love it.
love it.
Gotta love what you do, no question.
Not about the money in
I
this.
like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I do. Let's play a little word association.
Okay.
Uh, and what it is I'm just gonna throw some things out, and then you just give me the first thought that comes to your mind based upon this. Okay, we'll
Okay.
start with your buddy. Okay, Cassidy Collins. What is a word that you would say that describes her?
Hardworking.
I like that. I like that. Now, your other buddy I'm gonna have on Sunday, and that's
Rachel?
Rachel. Rachel. I don't know how to say her last name, but
Hot.
Turcotte. What is okay, Turcotte? What is a word to describe Rachel?
So bubbly. That girl has the power just to make everyone around her smile. She has the best energy I have ever had the pleasure of being around. She's
Mm,
awesome.
okay, I
Yeah.
like that. I do. Your sorority. How would you describe your sorority in one word?
It's diverse.
I like that. Lynchburg, Virginia. What would you describe that in one word?
Tiny but mighty.
What? What?
It was a tiny town. It's a little city,
I
but
feel it. Okay.
there's always
Okay.
some cool stuff happening.
I feel it. I feel it. Okay. Um. What would you describe the football team? The Cougs football team. What word?
Hopeful.
Mm. That's probably the best damn word you came up with that team. There's no question about that. Okay. What what about the Cougs basketball team?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't watch a lot of basketball, but
Oh,
I will say entertaining.
entertaining. Okay. I like that. I do. I got a couple more.
Okay.
What would you say about the fraternities? What word to describe the fraternities there at WSU? You shaking your
Chaotic.
head. My gosh.
Chaotic.
Oh my gosh. You said chaotic?
Yep.
I like that. I like
Yep.
that.
I also live all around frats, and they're always blasting music. So my room is like a rave 24/7.
Wow.
It really
Well, at least you never have a dull moment. I could tell you that.
never.
Never, not a dull moment. And sometimes it's good in life.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's bad. I don't know what the percentage is for you because percentages are different for everybody. But we'll roll with the punches. Last
Yeah.
but not least, on the word association, your family. What's a word to describe your family?
Supportive. There's no three people who want me to succeed more than my family.
I love that. I do. I do. Now you talked about being an anchor. So if they came up to you, Emma, and said, you know, you only can do one job for the rest of your life, would it be anchor, reporter, or producer?
It's hard because with reporting, I get to meet so many people and I get to tell their stories and build those connections, but I've always wanted to be a news anchor. It's just been like something that I've always wanted to do.
Hmm. Speaking of things of wanting to do, uh, let me get a top four from you. And maybe it might have changed. I'm not sure if I've asked this last time, but maybe it might have changed from last time. I would like a top four of events that you would like to cover in your journalistic career. That could be red carpet, it could be news, could be sports, it could be anything. But what is a top four of events that you would like to cover?
Definitely the next presidential election. Hopefully, I'll be working a job that I'll be able to go do that.
Oh, that's no question. That's no
Mm.
question. And
Um,
I'm definitely gonna hit you up wherever you at. I'm hitting
yeah,
you up, and it's going down. Trust me, we're gonna get
yes.
some drinks and have a good time. That's
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
100%. It'll be a good time.
Absolutely,
And then
absolutely.
I love entertainment news. A part of me has always wanted to go into entertainment news, but that's a whole other can of worms. So
Like that. That's funny.
yeah, I want to cover a big like celebrity trial. Like, like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Like, I think
Oh
covering
my gosh.
that, like a situation like that would just be so like cool. And like just like it would like make my career. Like I feel like if you're so lucky enough to get that one story that is just like everyone's talking about it and you get to cover it, career made.
Like the Diddy story right now.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That story is crazy, but Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, that was really crazy.
That
That was
was
wild.
so covering something like that would be pretty cool.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What else?
A big murder. Getting to
Mm.
investigate, I love also investigating. Being able to investigate a case like that and tell the story how you want to tell it and just be able to be the one to piece all the pieces together also. Not like be an investigator, of course, but like investigate like every aspect of the story, things that people don't know. And then people are like, oh my God, I had no idea that happened.
Sure. Sure. Now, so you're saying that you like to be nosy, is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. As a
Oh,
woman, I love to be nosy. If someone's next to me and their phone is like up, like I will be lurking at their phone.
okay.
I
Okay.
love
So
Snoop.
okay. So I want to. This gave me a bonus question. Okay, and you can
Okay.
decline if you want to, but
Okay.
with because I know you probably have a significant other, so I'm going
Yeah.
to ask you if there is if his phone is. Do you look at his phone?
I used to.
I know it.
I can't help myself. Like I literally can't help myself.
Okay.
I
Okay.
realized a phone is a very personal object that holds a lot of very personal things in it that everyone shouldn't be seeing. And so
Right.
I haven't gone through his phone in a very, very long time, and I don't plan on doing it. Because one, he
Okay.
gives me no reason to. And two,
Okay.
it's his personal belonging. I don't like when
Yeah.
people go through my stuff. I'm kind of like, Emma, calm down. You're fine. Just put it down.
So okay. So a little. This is the reason why I asked that story because
Uh-huh.
I've had a few guests on here on my podcast where they will always say they like to investigate and they like to ask they call it probing questions, but it's really nosy ass questions. That's what it is. It's being nosy.
Mhm.
Okay, and I understand that. So I always like follow up with, are you one of those type of people that check your man's phone? Or if there's been actually been a couple guests that were guys like that, do you check your girl's phone all the time? And the guys actually say yes, and the girls actually have said yes. And I was like, what? Like, why? Why do you do that? What is the purpose of that? Like, come on now. But
I
I
know.
think
I don't know what it is. It's just something about like someone else's phone being in front of me that I want to just go and like key search my name and like the messages and just like see what they're
right,
saying about me. It's
right. That's what they said. They said the same thing. I was
like
like,
I
okay.
want to know what's being said about me behind my back.
I understand, and listen, all of us is really like deep down inside, we all have that thought of, is these people really talking about me? Is talking about me? Are they talking about me with me or whatever? But at the end of the day, it's like, all right, you know what? Control the controllables. That's
Yeah,
it.
the thing about me too, it's like if I have a question about something to anybody and
Your
I'm like
act.
irritated and I'm like asking them a question like, did you do this? I already know the answer because I've already investigated it myself before I ask them the
So
question.
you like asking rhetorical questions is what I'm
Yes,
saying, what you doing.
yes. And I love catching people in lies. It's my favorite thing to do. I'm like, no, I have this proof. Look at this.
All
And
right, Emma. I'm gonna definitely just remind me to make sure to keep you smiling at all times because I don't want to be put on the couch at any time soon around you. Okay, I'm just honest, being dead ass on that one because I'm not gonna get nothing past you. And most women you don't get much past with anyway. So it's just
Oh
no
no.
need to lie. So
Women know the question. Women know the answer before they ask the question.
they do. They do. This is
I
very
learned that
true.
from my mother because my mother is actually a drug enforcement agent. She's a detective.
Oh,
I didn't get away with anything in high school because she already did the digging before she asked me.
sure.
Now that I'm older, I'm like, I see why she did that. I'm gonna do that as well. And
I feel that.
hardest thing to do.
It is the honest thing to do. I like that.
Mhm.
So you said that you drove your car from Washington State all the way to Virginia. That had to be a hell of a drive.
From Arizona,
Uh
Virginia, yeah.
oh yeah, you said Arizona to Virginia?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's still a hell of a drive. Talk to me about how that drive went. I mean, like you must have had to stop overnight, maybe get a hotel. Talk to me about how that drive went. What did you see? The scenery was like. I mean, did you have the music blasting the whole time to keep you awake? What's up?
Oh yeah. So when I first from Arizona to Virginia, I drove with my dad drove with me because my parents were skeptical about me driving across country by myself. So
Yeah,
my dad drove with me. We switched off. We did it in 3 nights and 4 days. So we did little pit stops. That was fine, except when my dad was driving, he drives super slow. My dad is a cop, so he will not be speeding in a car. So I was getting irritated sitting in the passenger seat.
so you feel like you was Miss Daisy in the car, like
Yes,
driving
I'm like,
slow?
please go 10 over. Like, please, like we need to get it's gonna take us a week. And then
Right,
when I
right,
was driving, he was like, slow down. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to get there. I'm tired. He also doesn't like music blasting, so I couldn't blast my music, sadly. But we
oh
were
my
having
goodness.
a lot of just like little talks, here and there. But then driving back, my boyfriend was actually on the East Coast as well. So he was in North Carolina and I was in Virginia. So when we were leaving, I drove up to North Carolina and then we just kind of like tailed each other driving back. So I had to drive back without any like breaks, switching off with someone. But we did that in I think 3 nights and 4 days as well. That one wasn't as bad. Actually, no, it was pretty bad. But because I did have like my dad to like switch off with me, I just had to drive like 10 hours straight every single day. Like it was not fun.
I can imagine. I don't know how you. I mean, I'm sure you'll drive again if you have to do that. But I'm like,
Yeah.
man, oh
It
boy,
was
yeah,
just hard doing it in like such a short amount of time. I think like because I was only there for a month and a half. So it's like a month and a half kind of goes by fast. And then you're like, oh my God, I have to drive all the way back across the country in such a short amount of time.
right, right, absolutely. I can remember my 20-hour drive. It took 2 nights. 2 nights. Yeah, no, one night overnight, 2 days. It took. Yeah, because I drove from Atlanta all the way to Minnesota. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I packed everything in the car and I couldn't see out of the back of my car.
Yep.
I was so worried that I would get pulled over. And then I stopped in Missouri. I just got dog shit tired. I was like, yeah, I'm pulling over. It's been 12 hours. I left at 4 some in the morning. I'm about to eat and go to sleep. So I went to sleep and then it took about 20 hours to get here, but yeah, and the music wasn't helping. Like the music was
No.
not helping at all. No, at some point, you play music and then you just become tone deaf to it because it's like okay,
Hmm.
because you're trying to fight fumes and you're just tired at
Yeah.
that. So
I get little like
absolutely,
random energy bursts too when I was driving. Like it'd be like hour 6 and I'm like, okay, we're almost there, almost there. And I'm like blasting my music, like singing my music, screaming, like pretty much causing a scene on the damn freeway. And everyone's
sure.
looking at me and they're like, okay, okay. And then
I know I
after
would
my
be.
energy burst, I would just be like, I'm about to fall asleep. My eyes are closing. I can't do this anymore. So that
Mm,
drive was horrible, but it was worth it because I got to
absolutely.
turn on ABC 13.
I love it. Now, can we talk about you being a brand ambassador for Prime? That's also something
Yeah.
brand new since we last spoke. I know Cass talked to me about it. She said she's doing
Yeah.
some reporting as well. I don't know if you're doing reporting as well for it too, but talk to me. How in the hell did you get hooked on with the pause to be able to do Prime like that?
Yeah, so I'm not a reporter. I didn't apply for that position just because I wanted to focus on the things that I have going on this year. I'm not a
Sure.
person who can really like manage a lot of things at once. So I kind of like pick a few things and focus on those. So I did not apply for that position.
Okay.
But Prime reached out to me, I think, around this time last year, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to be a part of our ambassador program for college students?" And I'm like, "Yes, I love energy drinks. It will save me money, honestly, you know." So I was like, "Yeah, you know, the worst that can happen is they don't send me anything. It's fine." So I got my first package, and then every month we get monthly packages, and we just got to post 4 times a month on the story. You get to network with a bunch of new people. It's really honestly fun.
Okay. Now I still haven't tried Prime yet, and I asked Cass this question. Yeah, the great
Yeah.
plug, awesome plug. Um, which flavor should I try?
The white one is super good. I'm not sure what flavor that is, but the white. Do you like energy drinks or like the soft drinks like Gatorade?
The Gatorade.
The
Yeah,
Gatorade? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I would do the white one for sure. And
Okay.
then I also like the pink lemonade. I don't know if that one's kind of controversial. Some people don't like it, but I really like it. And they also have strawberry banana, which I really like too.
Oh yeah, I definitely. Okay, so strawberry banana, pink lemonade. I'm just now learning of this Prime stuff because
Really?
now do you watch WWE?
No, I do not.
So you don't watch Logan and doing anything that he does with WWE?
No,
Okay. Do you watch Jake Paul's fights?
absolutely not.
Okay. Well, okay. So you don't really pay attention to the Pauls. You just pay attention to Prime.
Yes,
I
I
got
love
you.
Prime.
Okay. Okay.
I love
Okay.
Prime. My roommates are always like, because we use the Prime, like my roommates drink them and everything. And there's always like, I have a flag, a tablecloth, towels, a
Hmm.
thousand shirts. It's like a Prime shrine in my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously this is your wonderful room in the background. That's
Yes.
amazing. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Um, I wanna talk to you definitely about uh post graduation.
Uh-huh.
Obviously you're gonna be walking across that stage in May of 2025. Um, I know your parents are definitely super proud. Will that be the last time you walk across a stage? Meaning, do you think you'll be going to graduate school?
I do not plan on going to graduate school. I do not. This is my final walk across the stage. I think I am ready just to get my journalism career started and just go from there.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love that.
School has me very burnt out, if I'm being honest.
Really,
I don't
really.
think I
Talk to
could
me.
do
Talk to me.
another 4 years. I mean, especially being in such a small town like Pullman, it's very hard to manage school and your friends and everything else you have going on outside.
Yeah,
I'm just ready to kind of graduate and start my life, just focus on one thing, my job, instead of 100 other things that are going on around me. You know, it's very tiring. I kind of have a really bad case of senioritis right now. I'm just pretty burnt out, but it's the home stretch. So,
this is a perfect time to have that senioritis, though.
yes, yeah.
Good time. Perfect
I'm
time to have it.
also doing a capstone piece for my reporting class on because mental health in Pullman, especially in such a small town, it affects so many students. So I'm going to be doing my capstone piece on how the Pullman atmosphere affects students' mental health because I know a lot of people who have left, who have transferred, who have dropped out because of being here. It takes a really big toll on people. So
Sure.
that's also my next big story that I'm going to be working on as well.
I love it. I do. I definitely pay attention to your social medias.
Oh,
Anybody that knows you definitely rep Prime. There's no question about
oh
that.
yeah.
But you also are, very busy, very active with your sorority and with your journalism as well. You juggle a lot of things, and this is a perfect time to, like I said, have that senioritis because you know that the light is at the end of the tunnel. You're starting to kind of see it, but it's still kind of a distance away. But it's
Yeah.
like, it's almost like you're at a work shift and you get off at 4 and it's 3:45 and it's the slowest 15 damn minutes of your life.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right? It's like that. So I
Yeah.
totally understand. I got the same thing for sure when I was a senior.
I just like it will be a lot better when I can just focus on one thing, I think. I love being busy and everything, but college has been so fun. It's been a great 4 years. I'm ready to leave.
Listen, and I tell you, when I got there, when I got to that point, I should say, I was ready to go too. I was looking for every job I could possibly apply for and do that. Now, are you going back to Arizona when you do graduate?
I'm hoping to have a job before I graduate, but if it comes to it, then yes, I will be going back to Arizona.
Arizona. I feel that. No, I feel it. I feel it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you. I really am because I love to see people when they graduate college. Let's see what their careers are going to be like. You've been paying it forward for a minute now, and now taking on a new role as producer and mentor to these younger underclassmen that are listening to you, that look up to you, being a big sister. I can remember when we first talked. It just seemed like it was a little different Emma back
Yeah.
then, a little different, not much, but a little different. Back then, right? Because you was just coming in off your sophomore year and junior, and now you just being junior, and you were so excited about the internship, and now it's an Emma that's like, okay, I'm ready to start real life now. Like this
Yeah.
college stuff, I'm ready to put this behind me a little bit. So,
Mhm.
and I love that. I love that about you. Is there anything that you want to add or talk about that I haven't even asked you yet?
Um, no, just some advice for people in journalism. Make time for yourself because news never stops. It's constantly going and it's really easy to get roped into it. So just take time for yourself and do stuff that you enjoy doing on your free time and just just take care of yourself pretty much. That's all.
I love that advice. And for the people that will watch this, once it does get posted, please give this lady a follow back. She's amazing at what she does. She's so hardworking, and she's gonna be up and coming. Y'all gonna see her name a lot coming up. So definitely, please give her a follow and support. So Emma, I really do appreciate you hopping on my podcast for the second
Yeah.
time. It was great catching up with you, talking with you about some things, and um, much more future success to you and the entire program. I'm looking forward to talking to Rachel on Sunday. It should be fun.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Chris. It was nice catching up with you.
Nice catching up with you too. Take care and enjoy your Friday, okay?
Yeah, you too.